All right. Good morning, everyone here in the Pacific Northwest, and good afternoon and good evening, wherever you are tuning in from, wherever you are in the world. In some places, we've just experienced the Northern Hemisphere, the winter solstice, and in the Southern Hemisphere, it has been the summer solstice. So we've had a little bit of a glitch this morning. I saw that the scheduled broadcast was showing that it's going to be at 3 o'clock this afternoon. Not sure what happened, but it's actually 7 this morning. So I know that some of you are popping on live on YouTube and on Facebook. So if you'll just go ahead and pop in the comment section so that I know that you are here, and we will go ahead and get started. I have 5 pages of notes for this frequency forecast for 2023. Frequency forecast for 2023. There is no way I'm going to be able to go through all of it, but I most certainly am going to give you a quick summary, and then of course we'll follow it up with a little sampler meditation. And today we're going to really work with your astral body, which is the actual light body that you travel in when you dream. I don't know about you, but boy, these last few nights, sleep has evaded me. Even last night, I've been up since 2:30 in the morning. So right away, Spirit was like, wake up, wake up, wake up. And so I got up and started meditating. So yeah, here we are at 7, but I'm certain I'll be taking a nap sometime today. So good morning, Kirsten, and hello. Most of me is here. I'm hearing some of you say, yeah, and the snow, I've really been following that on the news. And, it's been quite shocking how much snow has been able to dump in a short period of time. We're doing okay. We've got some floods and rain up here in the Pacific Northwest, but lots of things going on in the world. Want to show you, I have a new coffee mug today. So got this from my son for Christmas. And so it has Bigfoot on it. So I got a big kick out of that. So hello, Wilma from Fairmont. Who else? Newfoundland. Hi, good morning, Facebook user. So remember, unless you give StreamYard is the platform that I use, which gives me the capacity to stream on several platforms at the same time. There isn't any other program that does that so well. However, I won't know who you are. It'll just say Facebook because that's their little security thing they do. So you can just include your name and that'll be helpful. And Virginia, you're in Las Vegas. So I don't have much time to go over the enormous amount of shifts that we're going to experience in 2023, but I'm going to jump right in and let you know right off the bat some things we're going to be talking about. So there is an astrologer that goes by the name of David. I'm sorry, I don't know who it is. He was in conversation with Pamela Gregory. What I loved was the statement that he made, which I think really best describes what you can expect for 2023. He said, I don't know what's going to be coming in 2023, but I know it is something very big is coming down the road very quickly. So that's a really great way to describe that. James Von Prague just most recently said in one of his talks that you go through changes year after year after year. You make some big shifts year after year after year. The year 2023 is going to be dramatically different because you could have the potential to make 7 big shifts in 1 year. So whether you make 7 big shifts or not, that was kind of his way of kind of describing just how big the 2023 year is going to be. These last 10 years have been pretty rough on all of us, really have forced us to make changes, forced us to really see which side of the fence that we stand on, forced us to really kind of rise to the occasion in consciousness. So hello from Mary. Good morning. Happy New Year, as we are about ready to celebrate that coming up soon. All right, so the way that I've been seeing it, it's almost like this enormous LED light. Now, it's not like this soft, warm glow light. An LED light is like a diamond, pure white, cuts through the darkness kind of light. And when I saw this for the entire year for 2023, I thought, wow, there is some super high frequencies that are coming in. The dark is going to be super illuminated by the light in 2023. There's going to be an enormous shift of the feminine divine aspects. There's going to be a lot of healing next year in 2023 around the male aspects. Loads and loads of healing. There's going to be an increase in the masculine divine energy to help support the feminine divine. So that's super exciting as well. The big thing that I want to talk about as far as frequencies go, you get to choose each moment what frequency you're going to put out into the world. I'm going to talk about Akasha. I'm going to call 2023 the year of the Akasha. I'm going to go into that in just a minute. But with the Akasha and this high level of creativity, you're creating each moment in front of you. So if you're kind of bitching and complaining and moaning and groaning and whining, you're going to create that for the next moment, which when you step into that, you moan, groan, whine, complain, that creates the next moment, the next moment, the next moment. So if you see what I'm saying here, it's like shift that really quickly. It's like, whoa, there's a lot going on, but I just know that it's going to shift into an uplifting place for me in the next moment. So you just shift the frequency of belief, the frequency of faith, the frequency of laughter and humor. You're going to shift as quickly as you can so that that next moment you create is more an uplifting moment rather than a suppressive, depressive moment. They're also, and kindness is going to be the key for 2023. I hear, again, loads of people always talk about that love frequency. And I am always saying, you know, that's kind of hard for some people, especially if you have been hurt or harmed by somebody who professed to love you. So a lot of times just the energy of love can be quite triggering for people. However, kindness and caring is the frequency that's going to really flow throughout 2023. So no matter what is happening, even if you have to set some strong boundaries with someone, you can do it without name calling. You can just do it in a kind way. It's like, you know, I'm going to be really kind in my frequency, but I need to say this to set some boundaries and some limits. So we're going to, and it's not like you're going to have to think about that frequency of kindness, that frequency of caring is going to permeate 2023. So it's going to be a lot easier for you all to kind of shift into that ability to express kindness and caring no matter what's going on. Spirit's really talking about there are many paths that you can choose. You can choose the incarnation path, which is where you cycle through a lot of past lives and you're working off of past lives. And then they said that there are some people who choose the present moment path. So when someone chooses the present moment path, they may not be working off of a lot of past lives, but they're working really hard. You're working really hard to stay in the present moment. It is a challenging way to kind of choose to work on the earth, but that's where you just trust every single moment is exactly as it should be. So when you go to step into the next moment, you trust that that moment is just as it should be. When you have a present moment, you want to create that type of life here on the earth. That means that you know the past was as it should be, you know the future is as it should be. So it can be quite challenging, especially when things are going on in the world that kind of make you want to pull your hair out. It's like, okay, how do I stay in the moment? Everything is as it should be. But I would say that the majority of people choose the incarnate type life where you cycle through past lives. So what's happening in 2023, a lot of loose ends are going to be tied up in past lives. You may have some past life visions. You may have some past life dreams. You may have some past life memories. But what's going to happen is it's almost like any undone, unfinished cycles in those past lives are going to complete very quickly. And it's almost like eating a bag of Lay's potato chips. It's just like shift, 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 shift. So it's going to be big in 2023. All right. Time and space, speeding up the expansion, slowing down for the present moment. So what I mean by this is that time-space continuum. So in the time construct is a human construct. We function off of time. In the spirit world, there is no time or space. It's just everything is happening in that moment. When you're in the spirit world, you have a thought and it just happens. That's going to be happening more on the earth. The frequency is going so high on the earth in 2023 that you might start noticing some odd sort of time warpish kind of things. And I am really already noticing that in the last couple of weeks. So it doesn't mean that time is speeding up and slowing down at the same time. It means that you are expanding in that state of timelessness, what I call that still point. But it's going to mess with your head a little bit as it's kind of shifting into a more balanced state. You're going to be able to experience this time, space kind of warpish thing over the next 3 years. So thankfully, Spirit's going to give us some time to kind of figure that out and feel comfortable with it. Kind of like skateboarding, you're going to fall off a few times, but after a while, you're going to get used to this. But the big thing that Spirit really wants me to talk about is the Akashic Records. So the Akashic Records may be a new concept for you. And right away, what Spirit said was, we want you to explain the Akasha field, the Akashic Records, because the Akashic Records are getting closer to the earth. They're getting closer to humanity, which means that that high level of knowledge that comes from the Akashic Records will be more easily available to us to help us to really navigate our next steps. So Akasha. So you can look up Akasha. So it's Akasha. I think Akasha is a Hindu word, but this is how I think of the Akasha field. The Akasha field it's a Sanskrit word, means primary substance. It is the primary substance of which everything is formed. Your human body was formed. The situations that are happening on the earth was formed. Your job was formed. Like everything that can be thought of in that Akasha field, that creative field, can be manifested pretty quickly. So I always kind of give this kind of word of caution here. You want to start being super responsible for your thoughts, because when the Akasha field is so close to the earth, that means you can manifest pretty quickly. So it's always lovely when you want to manifest abundance and a great job and a love relationship with a new boyfriend or girlfriend, or maybe you want to have kids, or maybe you want to travel. So you can manifest those things much quicker, but you can also manifest just as quickly or almost even quicker the negative things, because when you're enraged, you're going to manifest, create, and manifest whatever you're enraged about. That rage potentiates its capacity to manifest pretty rapidly. So this year in 2023, you're going to be learning about how to manage those powerful emotions of yours. where you're going to learn how to kind of rein it in, where you're not going to explode, you're not going to implode, but you're going to learn how to work with those beautiful emotions in a really kind of mature way. So basically what Spirit's saying for 2023, you're going to grow up. We're like these petulant teenagers in a way, the way that we work with our energy field. In 2023, humanity's going to grow up a little bit more. And wow, we really need humanity to grow up more, especially the people in charge, where that dominant authority at the top, it's like they can have just as immature emotions as anybody else. They can't manage their emotions. You know, they just let their emotions kind of guide them everywhere. So this is what's happening. We're going through a maturing period. Although this maturing period, again, will last 3 to 5, potentially 10 years, it's going to get a really huge jump start in 2023. Okay, so I don't know, like the field of Akasha, it's this really rich, creative, luminous plasma, like blood plasma. It can contain these fibrogens of these kind of golden light that kind of comes together to create this filaments of meshwork that floats kind of in serum, and it's very, very thick. This creative energy remains pure, remain pure in your intentions. The Akasha stores all the universal knowledge. So isn't that kind of exciting to think about that moving into next year? All the universal knowledge data in the form of light codes, and within each light code can be trillions of bits of frequency knowledge, trillions of bits of frequency knowledge that are really going to activate your DNA, activate your genetics, activate your capacity to understand a more expanded view of knowledge. But this is kind of the weird, strange thing because of that kind of time-space continuum. All of a sudden, your capacity to understand what's happening is from that higher kind of bird, you know, eagle's perch, as Pam Gregory talks about. But as the observer, what was I going to say about that? Oh, is that you can totally forget how you felt before. So like right now, if you're listening to me and you're going, I don't even know what Nancy's talking about. What is Akasha? What is Akashic records? What is manifesting? What are light codes? By this time next year, that's going to be old hat. Like we're going to be on to talking about something else. And it's going to be so relatable to you that it's almost like you're going to forget who you were or how you thought before. I'm reminded of a student that I worked with, and she just wanted to see, like most people out there, I want to be able to see energy fields. I want to be able to see spirit. I want to be able to see the light of God. So that was always her goal. And she became my student in the Psychic Mastery 2. Wasn't called that at the time, but that's what it was. And so as we're working through it, like 7 years, I worked with her, not just in the teaching program, but as a client. One day, she had contacted me and said, you know, I had this experience when I was meditating. I was doing a reading. Can I run it by you? So she said, so I was seeing this image of these tall buildings, and there wasn't any traffic in the street, and I could see that there were people up on the 13th floor of this skyscraper. So I stopped her about halfway through her description, and I said, you're telling me that you're seeing these images and these visions? And she was like, yeah, that's what I said. Like, what's the problem? And I'm like, are you even aware that for 7 years, this has been your dream, that you've wanted to be able to see, and suddenly you're seeing and you're acting like you've always been able to see? And it was almost like she couldn't even connect with what I was saying. Like it had just, you know, it's like lights on, lights off. It's like lights came on, suddenly she had clairvoyance, and it was like it was never an issue before. That's what I'm talking about for 2023. So you might want to journal a lot so that you can go back so you would even know how you used to think, because the way that you think can change so dramatically this year in 2023. All right. So let me talk about, so the Akasha, I've talked about this plasma field of creativity. I'm going to talk about the Akashic records. I teach this over a month to my advanced students, so I'm going to give it to you in a nutshell. The Akasha stores all the universal knowledge and the data in the form of light codes. The Akashic records look like an enormous university campus, but it's even bigger than any university campus I've ever seen. It has many, many buildings, and each of those buildings have a different purpose. Each of you has your own personal room in the Akashic records. Each of you has your own personal room in the Akashic records. In that room, you have logbooks and books and recordings written down or as data of everything you have ever done in the past life experiences, maybe going back thousands and thousands of generations. You have information about what's going on in your life now, and the information in your room has all the information that will be the outcome, has the potential to be created in your future. So can you imagine being able to visit that room and see all that information about you? I remember once I was complaining about the fact that I knew I was supposed to write a book, but I kept procrastinating. So here it is, 22 years. So I procrastinated about it for 22 years. And so I went to the Akashic records to talk to the file clerk. So everyone has a file clerk and a file assistant who can pull information for you from your Akashic records. So I said, oh, I'm not writing this book, and I'm supposed to write this book, and I feel like I'm letting spirit down. And the file clerk, whoever was there, said, you see this shelf here? I said, yeah. You see these 5 books? Yeah. Yeah, you're going to write those 5 books before you die. So whether you do it at 30 or you do it at 60 does not matter to us. It will be done before you die. So here I am, haven't even written one of them yet. But they didn't seem too rattled by it. They figured I'd get it done. So yeah, we'll see what happens in the next couple of years. But each of you has a file clerk that goes to the Akashic records whenever you need information. You just ask your file clerk to run to the Akashic records, pull out a book, give you the information, and bring it back. And no, you can't pull books from other people's rooms. All right. Now, then your spirit can share it with you through psychic, intuitive imprints and downloads. When you are blocked in your intuition through skepticism, doubt, second guessing, then you're only able to access the information relevant to your current state of consciousness. So what this means is when you're blocking the intuitive information, it will only be given to you where your belief system is. Like if you don't believe that your loved ones go to heaven on the other side, you just believe that it's an empty world in the spirit world, then it's going to block any information from coming in because that's what you believe. So it's only going to show you what you believe. But if you're open to growing and expanding, then your intuition will show you a variety of things. But your spirit isn't going to show you everything that's going on in the spirit world until they know that you can handle the concepts of those higher states of consciousness. All right, I've already talked about incarnation, choosing the next moment. I'm going to be writing more about that. Okay, I just want to go over the different rooms that we have. So in the Akashic records, you have your private room. There's what's called a war room. So this is universal. The Akashic records is running everything or recording everything for the entire universe. So they have a war room where they're tracking where there might be battles going on and wars going on. There's a universal room where they're, making sure that everything's in balance. They're getting reports from different places, different multi-dimensions from the universe to see how things are going. They have a birth room. So before you're born, they will have a birth room about who's about ready to be born on Earth and what their mission is. So there's a lot of information. There's a death room where that you can come and you are received after you cross over. There's a life review room. There's a reconciliation room. There's an ancestral hall. There's a healing room when your soul has been fractured. And often I will see soul fractures when someone's been through a war or things like that. Okay. So we just came through that grand portal on, how's everyone doing? Oh my God. Hope this isn't too much for you. Someone said WTF, and then they said, wow, that's curious. Yes. So we are going through a paradigm shift. We are going through into a new era. We're heading into a new era in 2023, multidimensional understanding and evolutionary process. Okay, I've already talked about that. I've talked about that. And I've talked about that. Okay. Let me just make sure. Learning to work with your emotions. Okay. Oh my gosh, I didn't talk about ascension symptoms. This is the biggest. Okay, take a nice deep breath. Take a sip of coffee. Okay. Nature and exercise is going to be the #1 priority in 2023. Write that down. Nature and exercise. The photonic light codes will illuminate your body, creating a light body over the next several years. It can feel wonderful to remain in those higher states of light, but you are here to bring heaven to earth. Return to the pure state of the divine original form of creation. So the frequency of nature will be your ultimate support to help you bring those higher frequencies into the body as your body is creating its light body. Now, it can take up to 10 years to kind of formally transition through all the phases you need to go through to create that lighter body. And so, but just to know, it's like a big kind of kick in the pants is happening in 2023. So exercise will help you blow off pressure. So put that on your list. Okay. Ascension symptoms. I will write about this more in a blog, but this is the #1 thing they said. Blood cells multiplying. I put question mark. Potential for thick viscosity, question mark. So when your bones are producing a lot of blood cells, it can make the blood or the flow a little thicker. So stay hydrated as much as you can, exercise, eat healthy. Aching bones, so you might experience aching bones, headaches, stomach aches, teeth issues is what they said, big teeth issues. So really taking care of your teeth in 2023. Enormous jealousy, competition, and comparing yourself to others. Yeah, that's gonna be on the surface. So you have to really, remember I said, switch that quickly to a different perspective. When you're feeling jealous, that means that you are envious of someone else. You're comparing, you're looking at them rather than looking at yourself. You're wanting to compete, be better than them, rather than just do what you're supposed to be doing. But those are going to get really big triggered. Mental ego will slow you to a mental grind, telling you not to listen to your spirit. So you will have a huge change in values. What you value this year it's going to change. Your values are going to change. The Capricorn, Aquarius, Pluto thing, that's a big deal. But these are the other things that I want to talk about. Sexual abuse survivors will go through a big healing in 2023. Also, Imbalances in sexual health is going to come into balance. The events that are, what is the word I want? Sex offender, toxic patterns are going to start to be healed, brought into balance. Boy, we really need that to be eliminated. We so need those issues to be eliminated. So it's big imbalances in sexual health that's going to be coming into stronger health. I just want to say all the way around. Violence, those who've been through, had violence experiences in this lifetime, you're also going to experience big healings this year. As well as the light reveals the hidden places of violence in the world. You can expect a spike, and this is what Spirit said, gun violence, potential larger outburst as the frequency of violence is diminishing. All right, does that make sense? It's like as it's getting healed and diminished, there's going to be this sometimes like an outburst, a last yelling as it's walking out the door. So what Spirit is saying is it may seem like it's on the rise, but it's actually on the decline. But because some of the events might be a little bit bigger. And this isn't just the United States. I mean, this is all over the world. So these new frequencies are changing those really unhealthy, damaging, hurt, harmful patterns. So in 2023, everything is accelerated. It's a time of softening to get to those hard places. This is so big. I think in my blog post, I'm going to have to turn it into part 1, part 2, part 3. So the last thing, this is what Spirit said, you are no longer the observer. Greg Braden said this, we are moving out of the observer and we're moving into the participator. We're not just sitting back and observing, we're now participating. And someone else said this, no, I'm no longer a believer, I am an experiencer. This is really telling a lot about 2023, not just believing, but experiencing. All right. I just want to talk a little bit about our meditation. So in this meditation, so you all have what's called an astral body. Everyone has an astral body. When you fall asleep, when your body falls asleep, then your astral body floats up out of your physical body because your spirit kind of needs a break from the heaviness on earth. And it'll fly to another dimension and visit people up there or have different experiences in the spirit world. Well, then when it's time to wake up, your spirit and the astral body comes back down into your body. So if you've ever experienced that sleep paralysis, where you wake up, you're awake, your eyes are open, but you can't move your body, that means your astral body has not quite finished clicking in yet. Or your astral body can pick up a lot of kind of debris. I always say it's kind of like a Christmas tree with all the ornaments on it. You want to shake off that tree. You want to get all that debris off the astral body. So that's what we're going to do right now. So this is where you put on your pretend, imagination, playfulness, totally making it up, whatever you have to do to make this work for you. And I know some of you aren't seers, some of you are predominant feelers, some of you hear, some of you know. Whatever you need to work with to imagine this, we're just going to imagine. You're just going to send some healing energy through your astral body. But first, let's go ahead and close your eyes and turn within. Say hello to your body and say hello to your spirit. Remind yourself of how old you are today. We call it present aging. And remind yourself of what today's date is. even if you are listening to the replay later. Nice, nice. Just present timing, present aging. You're already starting to shift. Go ahead and imagine yourself grounded to the center of the earth. So ask your spirit to help you. It can be a tree with roots. It can be a rope. It can be a ship's anchor. It can be a rainbow. It can be owls, rabbits. So go ahead and be playful and imaginative to just really anchor yourself to the center of the earth. Whew, you all are getting so good at that, getting grounded. Now, we're going to look at the astral body one of two ways, whatever way you are comfortable. Your astral body is in your body right now. If you're awake, listen to this talk, your astral body is inside your regular energy field. So you can imagine, and I'm going to say we can work with the blue light today, blue cosmic divine light. You can imagine it's just flowing through the top of your head, the top of your aura, the top of your astral body, and you're just going to let it rinse all the way through your astral body. Or if you really can work with your imagination, you can pretend that your astral body is standing in front of you. And you're just going to rinse your astral body with this divine cosmic blue. You can work with silver, gold, emerald green, or all of them. Let's just take a moment to just run energy, healing energy through your astral body. Some of you may be acutely aware of your astral body and may notice that it might be twisted or tied in knots. It may be thin. It might have a tear in it. It doesn't matter. You just intend that that healing essence go through your astral body to make all the repairs, help it to relax and expand in its healthiest way possible. Now set your intention that your astral field, whatever healing has just happened to your astral body, that it's going to imprint that healing on your physical body and your human aura here on this third dimensional plane. So you're going to ask that the high frequency, high vibe astral healing that you just did is going to imprint on your body here on Earth. Nice, nice. Now for 2023, just set your intention to remember to run some energy through to do a healing on your astral body at least once a week for the entire year of 2023. So just ask your spirit to help you to remember to heal your astral field at least once a week in 2023. There you go. All right, whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and open your eyes. So we're already 40 minutes in, but I forgot to mention the blue light. The huge event in 2023 was the blue light surge. It's going to happen again in November. So stay tuned about that. That's where the frequency is just going to go through the roof. So, of course, I'll be talking about that much, much more this year. And just to let you know, if anybody would like to spend about 4 hours with me on January 7th, I have created a workshop. It's called Psychic Play Date with Nancy Rebecca. So I've included the link here below. You can click on that link. It's on January 7th. So it's just coming up about 10 days from now. You want to get registered right away. And then Psychic Mastery 2. I took a year off from teaching that. That's our kind of 12-month immersive, deep learning about how to do psychic readings and how to do psychic readings to heal yourself, as well as many other things like spending a month on the astral field and the Akashic records and all the different rooms. That's just part of that training. So you can check out that for more information as well. All right. We've gone on for a while. Thank you all for hanging in there with me. I'm going to be talking about this a lot this year, so you're not going to miss anything. And I'm going to be writing about it on a blog post as well. So if you want to read any of my blogs, you can go to the intuitivemind.org, and at the top, just click blog, and you'll be able to read all my blog posts there. All right, everyone, would you please post in the comments section what it was like, what it felt like to cleanse your astral field? And I look forward to chatting with you. And the next time will be in 2023. So, all right, take care, everyone. Have an awesome holiday.